Tuesday. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Hope you all are doing well. I'm just going to hop on over to YouTube and make sure that we are all set up. Thank you.
I tested it, checked it, it works.
Okay.
I did the auto start on it and it worked.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm going to go paint a wall.
Okay, have fun.
See you later.
See ya. Yes, it is Tuesday. All right, let me hop on over to YouTube and get us all set up. Yeah, I was trying to mess with the categories before I went live, and it wasn't letting me. So I had to report it on the new dashboard, and hopefully it gets fixed. All right, let me see. All right, that should fix everything, and we should be good to go. Maybe not. Did it not work? Okay, stand by. That was delayed, wasn't it? All right, well, hopefully that worked. It just took a second to show up. So I was like, what's going on? Oh, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. All right, so let me get over to Google Docs because we are going over guideline updates at some point in the notes today, and I'm going to open our notes. Oh my goodness, everybody's raiding over. Thank you, everybody, for the raids. I appreciate that. All right. I love that. It's like everybody's just funneling over into Coffee Chat. It's wonderful. And thank you for the purchases of the Buy It Now. I appreciate that as well. So every Tuesday Coffee Chat, I do fill our Buy It Now with items from around the marketplace. So please look around the store. If you can see it somewhere on your screen, you'll see a little store icon. Check out the store. Those items are items from our sellers. From around, they're not necessarily my items. I think I might have like grabbed one of my items by accident and I just left it in there. But just, check it out. Support some of our sellers. There's some really cool stuff. But today I featured mostly items with flowers because I'm so ready for spring. I told you guys the other day in my live that I should be on Facebook. I told you guys the other day I had my crocuses pop up. They're they died now because we had a cold snap, and but it was oh my gosh, maybe it's time for spring. So it was really nice. But so that's what I featured in our in the mostly flowers. So, oh, I'm getting a cramp in my leg. Ooh, that's not fun. Okay, no, we're good. All right. I'm good. Okay, so you don't see me on Facebook. Okay, I hit the button. I've been having the worst time with Facebook. I don't know what's going on here. Let's try it again. Here we go. All right. Did that work? All right, so hopefully that got us over onto Facebook. Let me double check. All right, now it is highlighted, so hopefully we're over on Facebook now. So, it's Tuesday. That means it's Coffee Chat. So on Tuesdays, I hop on here. I talk a little bit about Niknax, which is my marketplace, my e-commerce site where we have all. I'm on. Okay, good. Where we have live sales, Buy It Now listings, and multi-day auctions. We have over 100,000 listings, or maybe according to this, 99,000 listings, 4,200 sellers, and almost 40,000 members. It's quite the place. So we're going to go over some stuff today, talk about our growth, updates, those sort of things. So thank you all for being here and hanging out. And let's get down to business, shall we? All right, here we go. So, members. We have 39,188 members. So we didn't grow a whole lot this week. I think part of that is my fault. Part of that is my fault. I realized when I was in Florida, I kind of forgot to say at the end of my videos, like, come on over to Niknax if you want to purchase any of these items. I was just like, I was, living my best life in Florida. And so I didn't say that at the end of my videos. I feel like that was partly to blame. And also I haven't been having a whole lot of sales because I've been traveling, I've been sick. So we only gained 393 sellers, members, but that's still pretty fantastic. So welcome. Welcome to all of our new members. We're really happy to have you here. Niknax is a wonderful community and family friendly, positive, and it's just a wonderful place to be. So I hope that you love it here as much as we love it here. And feel free to explore, check out the homepage, visit some of our sellers that are having live sales, do some searching in the search bar for things that you may love, and just check it out. So we have currently 4,247 sellers. I have added new sellers this past week. So we have 30 new sellers. So that's fun. And I have been adding new sellers. I have been adding new sellers on a weekly basis. So we are continuing to grow. And as we add new sellers, I always encourage everybody to continue to promote because we add new sellers. We also need to bring in buyers because there needs to be that ratio of buyers to sellers. Otherwise, there's not a balance. We always need that balance. So welcome to all of our new members and to our new sellers. As far as listings go, we have 99,200 listings. That's a lot of listings. So if you are new to Niknax and you're looking for anything specifically, maybe just sitting in on live sales is not your thing and you want something specific, you can always search through the search bar on Niknax.net. Make sure you're accessing Niknax. Oops, I just hit the wrong one. Okay. If you are on, hang on, go here. Let me turn you guys around real quick. Okay, so if you are on Niknax.net, oh, my other laptop's behind my, okay. Like, why can't I push it back any farther? Okay, so if you're on Niknax, you can just, pop up here in the search bar and you can type in, Blanco. And ta-da! Now, granted, there are some things in here that might not be Blanco. I find that, even I have a hard time identifying Blanco sometimes. And some people just, throw that word in there but there are some cool pieces of Blanco in here. So, if Blanco's your thing, you can go and check it out. Murano, all the things. I'm just naming glass because you guys know I love glass. So anything you're interested in, stick it up here. I mean, even, kitsch. Can't spell today. Something kitschy, maybe. We don't have to do all glass. I mean, look at this thing. It's a seashell pig for $6. You can't go wrong with that. Oh, gosh. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of fun kitsch. The morning after coffee, of course. So yeah, do a little browsing. I always find so much fun stuff when I'm browsing. I know, yay, kitsch. Now I will say, make sure that when you're using this search bar, you are on Niknax.net up here. It has to be Niknax.net because if you are on district.net and you type something in the search bar, you are going to be searching all of district and not Niknax. And if you're searching all of district, you're getting results from other marketplaces and you're not on Niknax. So as a result, you're purchasing outside of Niknax, and you're not supporting our members and our sellers. So make sure you are on Niknax.net and do a little search. There's 99,000 listings out there. So all right, enough about that. Now you know how to search. Okay, so let's move on with the notes. We've got a lot of them today, I feel like. Lots of notes. All right, first up, happy March. It is Mardi Gras, I guess. Is it Mardi Gras? I guess it's March, so it must be Mardi Gras, right? We need to celebrate. Well, we're kind of like hovering around 100,000, and I think it's because like people like will go on vacation and then it'll bring us back down, and then like they'll come back from vacation and it boosts us back up. So we're kind of like going back and forth. It's like we're kind of hovering. We're hovering right around 100,000. I would love to just like get right up there. Anyway, okay, today is Fat Tuesday. Is that when you eat the cake with the baby? Is that Fat Tuesday? The baby cake day? Yes? Okay. See, I know things. All right, so there you go. Everybody go eat your baby cakes today. Okay, so what is your favorite way? What is your favorite way to promote Niknax? Instagram, word of mouth, YouTube, texting, smiley face in parentheses, says Christina. All of those things on Instagram. Yes. Instagram, I feel like is pretty easy and straightforward. Facebook is good too. Facebook is pretty easy. I feel like lots of people have Facebook. Texting it in person. Christina, when we were in Florida, she was carrying around the stickers. The stickers are always great. Passing out the stickers. So yes, she puts in here. We need help promoting Niknax. I've said it, in the beginning, and I will continue to say it. I can only do so much. There will reach a point where my reach, I do have quite a large following, across Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, but there will reach a point where I can only do so much, and I am going to need help from our members, and I love you guys, and I know that we do help a lot, but we just got to keep spreading the word. So I appreciate all of what you guys are doing, and we just need to keep going, keep pushing. So thank you, everybody, and all that you guys do. So all right, so go live. Reading the notes, I'm like, all right. We encourage live sales all the time. Oh yeah. So yesterday we had like this lull in live sales. It was wild. I mean, I was sitting, I was answering help desk tickets, and like I go over to Niknax and we had nobody live. It was crazy. I posted in the live seller chat. I was like, now's the time. Like if you're going to go live and there's nobody else live, that's the time to go live, because, people might be hopping over to Niknax. There's nobody live. Like you would be the one, you would be the person live, and of course my inventory is not stored near me, so it's not like I can just like scoop up and go live. Crystal went live, which I thought was awesome. I saw Crystal pop on there, but like that was a huge prime opportunity. So if you ever see a moment like that where there's nobody live and you have the ability to do a pop-up, take advantage of it. It's only happened a few times. There's only been a few times that I've noticed that happen. I think maybe twice. The one time I was like, Christina, you need to go live, and she was able to do that. But absolutely, be going live, listing, getting your listings out there. Okay, so one thing I did want to talk about, and one thing I've noticed is, whenever we have a train event, whether that is Niknax or a seller-sponsored train, I have noticed that our sellers are less likely to go live. Whether it's a seller train, or Niknax sponsored. But I don't want you guys to feel like you can't go live. I don't want anyone to feel like, oh my gosh, there's a train happening, I shouldn't go live. That's not the case. And I don't want anyone to ever feel discouraged about going live. I know personally, like even before Niknax, when, Whatnot was really the only option, when I would go on there, and I'd see a train. I never really went on into the trains. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I saw a train happening and I was like, I'm not going in there. Just honestly, I'm like, oh, there's a train happening, but that's not my thing. So I would go into the other sales that weren't the trains. And so, I mean, maybe there's people like that on Niknax who maybe there's a train happening, but that's not their thing. So don't feel like because there's a train happening, you can't go live because, you're competing with the train. There are people on Niknax, I can promise you, who are on there and maybe they don't want to be in the train. Maybe they don't like the theme of the train. Maybe they're just like looking for another option. So I would absolutely encourage you that if even if there's a train happening, whether that's a Niknax train or a seller sponsored train, you can absolutely go live. So, and it's a really good idea to go live because you're offering that variety, and the people that aren't looking for maybe the train topic are going to come to you. They're going to want to see what you have to offer. Um, that being said, we do kind of have like a unspoken policy that don't try to compete with a train. If the train theme is, and I use this example all the time, if the train theme is cats, don't be like doing a sale with cats. I mean, the point of me saying go live during a train is to say, like, offer some variety to the buyers that might be live, like on Niknax at that moment. So I don't this isn't dipped it. This isn't dipped it. And we have no relation to them. But anyway, so yeah, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I mean, don't be giving the same topic. Like, don't be having that same theme, but like offer some variety. So if the sale is all about cats, get on there and do like glass or something like that. So that's my best recommendation for that. But I do notice that whenever we have a train, we have less standalone lives. There's less standalone lives. So I do have a question about. I'm not sure what you mean by, are we able to cancel the auto sign up? I'm not sure what you mean about that. So there is no auto sign up. Oh, they have subscriptions. Yeah. So one thing that will happen is if you comment on another marketplace, you automatically become a member. Yeah. So if you just happen to hop into a live on another marketplace and you comment, you're a member and you're going to start getting their notifications. So the only way to stop getting notifications from that marketplace is to leave. But Niknax is no affiliation with DipDit. That's a different marketplace. We have different rules. We have different different owners. I own Niknax, and that's owned by a different group of guys. So, but yeah, if you comment in any of the other marketplaces, you will automatically become a member. So that goes with any marketplace. So if you start getting notifications, that's what happens. So you will just have to leave the marketplace, or you can turn off your notifications. If you want to stay in that marketplace, you can also turn off your notifications. And I don't know how that works. I don't know if that turns off notifications for all marketplaces. I don't know how that works as far as notifications. Anyway, let me see here. So that's the one thing I wanted to say about trains. I just want to encourage you guys, because I do see kind of like a lull in people going live during trains, and I don't want you guys feeling discouraged. I don't want you to feel like, oh, there's a train happening. Go for it. I mean, I would love to actually see the data there if we did have more people going live during a train, to see the numbers to back up the fact that the sales can do well during a train. Like I would love to see that data. And at the moment, we don't really have enough sellers doing that to prove a point. So I just kind of want to see what happens. All right. Christina also adds, remember to use good judgment in terms of graphic and theme when a similar train is near. This is also really important. We have kind of an unspoken rule. If there is a train happening, please use good judgment. Like I just said, if there's a cat train happening, just, be respectful of the train that is happening, the effort that the conductors have put into that train. Just, be respectful of them. Don't be piggybacking off of their train unless you've spoken with them ahead of time. And you've made sure that, hey, is it okay if, is it okay that, maybe after your train, we do this, we have a similar themed sale or whatever. So please, if you're going to do something like that, just, give a heads up to the conductors, check with them first. Just be respectful. Okay. Let's see. So Seller Dash 2 is rolling out. Some of you may have access to Dash version 2. If you are a seller, as a reminder, if you have version 2, please, if you're having any issues, make sure you are sending reports to district. So I think I showed you guys last time. Let me just see if I can get over to there's my coffee. Okay, so let me see here. If I go to, all right, here I go. Okay, I'm not showing anything important, so here we go. So if this is a version 2, some of you may have this, some of you may not. Oops. I was like, hopefully I'm not showing any. This is just the amount of items I have listed, so that's not any important number. But if you're having any issues here, you can hit report issue. And this is so important. If you're on version 2 and you notice a glitch or anything at all, please hit report issue. Fill out a report here because they need to know that something is happening, that there's an issue so that they can fix it. Before the entire version 2 rolls out, they need to do all the little fine tuning to make sure that, version 2 is good, because right now the way it works is if you go here, we still have the old dashboard available. So that way, if there is a glitch on version 2, we can still revert to the old dashboard. Eventually, that's going to go away. And so we need to make sure that we have this fine-tuned enough. And part of that is making sure that we are reporting any issues. Okay? So if you're using version 2, if you suddenly realize, oh, wait, I have access to version 2, try to be using version 2 as much as you can and reporting anything. Okay? So there you go. Version 2 of the dashboard. All right. Let's see. Now these are sideways. There we go. Okay. We have a lot of guideline updates to go over. I did have a chance to update the guidelines. We talked a little bit about the guidelines the past 2 weeks, and I kept telling you guys, I'm going to update them. Well, I finally got around to it. So let's turn you guys around. Okay. I'm going to actually... Okay, so here we go. So if you want to go see the guidelines, oh, there you go. Where are you going, guys? Here. All right, if you want to see the guidelines, you can always find the guidelines in the chat channel under Get Started. There is a link to our guidelines. So if you want to follow along, you can find those under the chat channels right here. Marketplace guidelines. There's a link right here. Okay, those are our guidelines. But we are going to go through those real quick. Every time I update the guidelines, I put when I've updated them. And then I add notes to the updates. So we're going to scroll down. I've highlighted the updates. Okay, so I told you guys in previous weeks I was going to define what bid shaming was. And I've kind of, I've really told you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. So essentially I just got rid of the bid shaming, because people are like, what is bid shaming? And I just spelled it out for you. No behavior that negatively impacts the outcome of a sale. Essentially shaming other members forbidding, meaning saying things like, I would really like this, but money is tight. Please give me a chance. We're not going to do that. Like anything along those lines, like, hey, I don't really have the money for this, but I really want it. Please let me have it. Something like that. We're not doing that. Okay. So no shaming other members for bidding against you. That's one example. Guilting other members into not bidding. So like saying, what's the point of bidding against that person? They win every time. That's an example. Putting down the item to prevent bids. So basically saying, oh, that's so ugly. Why would anyone ever want that? All of these things are going to negatively impact the outcome of a sale. And as a result, they're going to hurt our seller. And one thing that is important to me and to the values that I want for Niknax, I want our sellers to be successful. And so if it's going to hurt our sellers, it's not a thing here. So if any of the behaviors in our chats are going to affect the sale, there's going to be consequences. So all of this is not allowed. As sellers, if you see something like this happening in your sale, you have every right to call it out. If you're not comfortable calling it out, I would encourage you to take screenshots. You can send it to me. I will send a message to the buyer who is participating in this behavior, and I will let them know that, hey, here it is in our guidelines. Please don't do this anymore. And I have done this. I've had to do this a few times. So I will take care of it for you. Okay. So you can send screenshots to community@niknax.net and I will take care of it. All right. So that is not allowed. It's just kind of common sense to most people. But unfortunately, we are plagued with people who lack common sense. Not just on Niknax, but all over the place. But yes, we will support you. We always support our sellers. Well, most of the time. Sometimes, unfortunately, our sellers can do things where we're like, what were you thinking? But anyway, so number 8. Sorry, my nose is running again. Okay. So there's another update here. We have no chat shows. I've added no chat segments. So this means, like in the middle of, oh shoot, sorry, I don't know why it keeps doing that. So in addition to no chat shows, no chat segments related to selling tips or marketplace policies, chat shows and communications on policies will only be offered by owner, admins, and moderators of Niknax. The problem with chat shows and chat segments is information is being given that is sometimes not on par with our policies. And I want to make sure that all of our information regarding policy is directly from me or the admins or the moderators. So chat segments, for instance, would be like a segment of a sale. Okay. So shows are segments. So show would be like an entire show. We don't do that. We've had issues with that in the past. So I just added in segments there. This is the biggest new update. So we now have specific guidelines per category. We've recently added the cosmetics category, which we're kind of branching into. And so I've started building out guidelines for categories, which as we just added cosmetics. I'm sure there's going to be opportunities for other categories. It'll be kind of a slow thing. We're just going to try cosmetics, see how it goes. But we are going to be, kind of branching out in other directions. So as we do, we're going to add guidelines specific to those categories in addition to our entire marketplace categories. So we have jewelry here. Stuff we talked about before. Jewelry, I never expected jewelry to grow so big, so fast. On Niknax, it's been amazing. It's really exciting. I I mean, for a while there, I was even doing jewelry sales, and I still have a bunch of jewelry I have to sell, but I mean, I'm still figuring it out. So you can all go in here and you can read it, but basically it outlines, we allow the sale of handmade, contemporary, vintage, and antique jewelry. We do not allow the sale of new bulk contemporary jewelry purchased from sources such as Temu, Amazon, and AliExpress. Shein, included. We also do not allow for multi-level marketing jewelry sales. And those are defined down here. This is what I've added, accuracy and transparency. So regarding the listing format, it is expected that jewelry sellers disclose all known information about jewelry, whether that's verbally or written, including age, material, and any defects or imperfections. The metal disclosure. This is something that I really wanted to touch on, especially as the jewelry category continues to expand. I mean, huge props to our jewelry sellers who are testing the jewelry live. I know I've seen Macy do that, and I think that's awesome. I've seen a few. I've been kind of creeping over on the other e-commerce place, and I've noticed some of their sellers doing it as well. And I just I think that's awesome. The live testing component. But I added this in. If a seller is selling precious metals such as sterling or gold, it is the seller's responsibility to test and confirm the purity of the metal. So it's their responsibility to test and confirm. If the piece is marked and untested, the seller must state that it is marked and untested. Okay. If the piece is unmarked and the purity of the metal is unknown, the seller must state that they do not know the purity of the metal and that the piece is either gold tone or silver tone. Okay. So basically, if it's unmarked, untested, you don't know what it is, just state it. Say, I don't know. It's untested. It's unmarked. I don't know what it is. It's either gold tone or silver tone. Okay. This is kind of just like a disclosure to cover us, to cover you. That's why this is in here. Same with gemstones. If you have not consulted a certified gemologist, if you don't know, just state that you don't know. Again, it's to cover us, it's to cover you. That's what this is about. And like I said, you guys can go in and read this. And then, okay, additional jewelry guidelines. No, this is basically what it says up here. No new bulk jewelry purchased from foreign or domestic wholesale sites, including but not limited to Temu, Shein, Amazon, AliExpress. No implying that jewelry pieces are something they are not in an attempt to bolster the sale. Excessively using phrases like this could be unmarked sterling, or this could be diamonds, or this could be unsigned piece of Tiffany, stuff like that. We don't want to be upselling our pieces based on speculation. I mean, I understand every so often there might be a piece that comes up. I find those pieces every so often. And I'm like, you know what? This could be an old piece of Mexican silver that's not marked or something like that. I think I showed this in a video. I just showed this in a video recently. There's no markings on this. This is actually a piece of Japanese sterling. It's worth, about $500+. It's unmarked. It's kind of crazy, so it's an unmarked piece of silver. It does happen, but it's not every piece that's going to be unmarked. It's not every piece that's silver tone is going to be sterling. So run it. Yeah. I actually had that piece appraised because it was so exciting. And then this one I had to add in. This is one that's in stripe and district guidelines. We didn't have it in our guidelines. I hoped it was common sense, but I'm putting it in our guidelines because not everybody realizes that there are stripe and district guidelines. So that is that there's no selling ivory materials. Okay, so no selling ivory. You can't do that. It's against the law. So So don't sell ivory. You'll get in a lot of trouble. So that's just, again, I mean, a lot of our rules are to cover you guys, to make sure that we're all covered. So how do we know if it's ivory? So if you think it's ivory, you're better off not selling it. Let's see, I think I have a piece up here. Maybe I do. Thought I had some up there. If you think it's ivory, you're just better off not. And that's always been my rule of thumb. I thought I had a piece up here. I guess I don't. Oops, sorry, my necklace is stuck. Yeah, if you think it's ivory, you're just better off not, because you could get in trouble. All right. So then we have cosmetics. This obviously is a new category for us. We're just kind of venturing into this category. We had our first cosmetics sale a few days ago. But here are the guidelines for cosmetics. I approved a few more of our regular sellers for cosmetics, but here are the basics. So in order to sell any cosmetics on Niknax, you must acquire approval through community@niknax.net. Okay. And once you're approved to sell cosmetics, you must abide by the following practices and guidelines. Cosmetics are defined as makeup and skincare products, blah, blah, blah. We do not allow the sale of dupes or knockoffs of popular brands. We do not allow multi-level marketing cosmetic sales. We talked about that last week. When permission has been granted, a seller must add the following verbiage to their host notes with the date of their written approval via email. So this must be in your host notes if you are selling cosmetics. So, I mean, that goes for everyone. If you're watching a cosmetic sale, you can expect that you will see this in host notes. I am an approved Niknax cosmetic seller. Okay. So this is what's not allowed. Used products or tools. That includes, used cosmetics, used makeup brushes, used applicators, cosmetics outside the original container, expired cosmetics, opened cosmetics, and then additional guidelines. No multi-level marketing cosmetics such as I think this is, never mind, I lied. This is the jewelry, right? That's jewelry. All right, I gotta redo that. So this would be like, let me put that up here under jewelry. I'm gonna put this here for now. I'll add that later. So this would be like Avon, right? Avon. What's the other one? Unique. Do they still do Unique? I don't even know if they do that one anymore. Mary Kay. That's a big one, isn't it? So I'll just do etc. So those are the examples. So we're not going to have any sales like that. So basically, I don't want any reps getting on there and selling their whole inventory like that. But I'm assuming that if they are a rep for any of these companies, it's probably against their service terms or whatever. It's probably against their stuff. They probably aren't allowed to do that, but I'm sure that they do that anyway. And then gems, minerals, rocks, and fossils. This is another one that we had talked about. The reason I'm putting this in here is because I know that in a lot of these cases, there are bulk purchases, and that's something we have not allowed on Niknax. So this is kind of something we need to figure out. And I'm just kind of putting that in as a placeholder. Okay. Because I gotta figure that one out a little bit more. So that was it for those. I've added failed payments into buyer policies because I did have to remove a buyer this week. I think I have in the past for failed payments, but finally I added it to the guidelines. So if a buyer has multiple failed payments without resolution, I will send them a message asking them to square up with our sellers. And if they do not respond or square up with our sellers within 24 hours, I remove them from Niknax. And this has always kind of been the protocol, but it's never been in our guidelines. So now it is written, and now everybody knows. So I understand there are circumstances that will lead to failed payments. I get it. Sometimes over the weekend, the banks will flag and we need to wait till Monday. I understand. And I'm not just going to be like, oh, you're done. We had a situation this last time where this person has been on my radar since October, actually. And they would have failed payments, and then payments would go through, and then there'd be a few failed payments, and then they switched their username. And then they had a few more failed payments, and then they got back on my radar, and I'm like, who is this person? Come to find out, they just changed their username, and I sent them a message. They didn't respond. I blocked them, and then they got really mad at me. So it's fine. It's whatever. I don't want, the point is, if you're going to bid on items, you need to be able to follow through. It's affecting our sellers, and I don't want to see that. So I unfortunately will have to, but if you send me a message back and you're like, hey, this is what happened, and you can explain it to me and we can work through it together, that's cool. But if you give me an excuse like, hey, my card was stolen, and I'm like, well, hey, you had issues back in October, how long has your card been stolen? We're going to have issues. So there's that. So that's in there now. And let's see, here is no stock images. I added this. It's an expectation that sellers own the rights to their images. That's the whole reason we have no stock images. So I just added this in as clarification, because we have the policy of no stock images. I know. Water off a duck's back. That's exactly right. So yeah, that's why we have this rule. And I just wanted to add a clarification for that. Accurate representation. I added this. Do not engage in keyword spamming, category spamming, which has been an ongoing issue, or embellishing items to imply that they are something they are not. So we added that. So this would also include like putting rare or like one of a kind when you know it's not. If there's like a zillion out there and you put rare, you're lying. So things like that, implying something is something that it's not, would be like putting rare, something like that. And I think, oh wait, here we are. Okay, so then we put, I put a few things I added to our Niknax raid train guidelines. It's been a while since I updated these, but just, basics, like it will start to wrap up your sale at the 2-minute mark. So 2 minutes before you raid, 2 minutes before you raid, start wrapping up. It gives you time to introduce the next seller. It just gives you time to wrap up and get ready for your raid. And then if you are receiving the raid from the previous seller, don't go live too early. Maybe like 2 minutes in advance, go live. However, I did put in here, if you notice that the previous participant is struggling or has run out of items, it is acceptable to ask if they need you to go on early. That's only if you're prepared to, though. If you think you don't have enough items, then I would not offer to go live earlier. Okay? So those are the updates. And like I said, I actually see a few of you are on here looking at them. And you are more than welcome to browse through there. I'm going to leave my notes up here on the side. I think you guys can probably see my comments. So you can just scroll through and you can see the highlights and the comments, and you can see exactly where I have updated. Okay. So I'll leave those up for a while. If you guys couldn't pull up the guidelines while I was going through them, you can check through them whenever. All right. But I think those were some important updates that needed to be put in there for a while, and I just hadn't had the time to update them in a while. So, back to notes. I'm reading through this note before I talk. Okay. Make sure that your listings reflect the best knowledge about the item as possible. Basically, make sure that when you are showing an item that you are describing it to the best of your ability. I talked about earlier, I showed you guys the Blanco, and I'm like, well, some people just didn't know whether or not it was Blanco, so they just called it Blanco. Please make sure that if you don't know, I say this all the time, if you're like, oh, well, this could be, maybe, call it art glass. You can say super, if you think it's super cute, that's super cute. I mean, like, using words like Blanco when it could be, but maybe it's not. I know that's a huge pet peeve of people who collect Blanco. Nat. It's Nat, right? Yeah, Nat and Kid. One of the biggest pet peeves is all the Blanco listed that isn't in fact Blanco. Yeah, I feel like we've got quite a few of those. In the style of, yeah, actually, I was going to be going through in the style of Murano listings and sending you all a message. So if you have in the style of Murano, you might want to fix it. Because I'm going to be going through all of those. Because it's not in the style of, it's just not. It's not that. So I'm going to be doing that. And so please just be describing, when you're doing your messages. I don't think Murano inspired. No, I don't like that either. I mean, it either is or it isn't. And the purpose of using Murano in the title is so that when people are searching legitimate Murano, it shows up in the search results. That's the whole purpose. That's why people do it. And I think most people don't realize that. The reason that people put that in their title, the reason a seller will say, they'll say inspired, Murano inspired, or in the style of Murano, is because if you're a buyer on there and you're searching for Murano, it's going to pull up all those listings in the style of Murano or Murano inspired, even though it's not Murano. That's why they do that. It's called keyword spamming. It's what I put in there earlier that was like no keyword spamming. It's art glass. And the reason that sellers do that is because it's the same reason people use any variation of crazy lamp lady in their YouTube videos, is because they want to get in my search results on YouTube. So when people look up crazy lamp lady, they show up in the search results. So that's the same thing. It's keyword spamming. And it's a pet peeve of mine because they do it to me on YouTube. So don't be using in the style of Murano, inspired by Murano. That's the same reason why, when you go to these home goods stores and you find, I showed it in one of my YouTube videos recently, the fake Murano with the sticker that in Italian says in the style of, but then it has the big word Murano. And people who don't know will just see the big Murano. And of course, they don't know Italian, but in Italian, it says in the style of the artisans of, and then it says Murano. So you look at the piece, you're like, oh, it's Murano. It's not though. It's in the style of. So it does. So, they do the same thing. They're keyword spamming basically. So there's a lot of that going on. So just be mindful of that, please. And I feel like I'm going to start cracking down on the keyword spamming just because I want our collectors to have a good experience on Niknax, because that's what's going to bring them back. I feel like a lot of the other sites, the collectors are turned off by. They don't want to go shopping on there because they're turned off by the fact that all of this stuff happens over there. So if we are on top of it, they're going to want to come here. They're going to want to shop here because, we're on top of it. We're like, you know what? We want to do well by our collectors, so that they'll want to come and shop with us. And, the collectors are the ones that are wanting to spend their money on good pieces. So we want to make sure that we are no creamy babies here. You won't find them. Nope. So that's important. So we're probably going to be cracking down on some of the keywords spamming. Okay. I'm just reading through the notes. As far as chat etiquette goes, as I've said before, no, don't you guys worry about calling out people for misbehaving. If you're a seller and somebody's misbehaving in your sale, you have every right to do that. But if you are a viewer, if you're like just a member hanging out in a sale and you see somebody who's maybe not doing what they're supposed to, please don't call anybody out. You can contact us at community@niknax.net. And if we see it and we're able to pop in, we will maybe say something. Otherwise, if it's not like a big deal, what if they're swearing? If they're swearing, oh shoot, I don't know if that feature is available yet. Christina, do you know if that feature is available? Has anyone tried that? No? Okay. Let me try. Okay. If they're swearing, I'm trying to think. If they're swearing, then you can you can contact us. You can message us at community@niknax.net. All right. And we'll deal with it after the fact. Yeah, kids, they'll probably just get booted from Niknax because like one of our number one rules is family friendly. And if they're not being family friendly, they're just not the vibe. So they'll probably just get booted from Niknax. I mean, sometimes it's like, okay, well, that was funny, so maybe I'll just let you stay. But like if they're just being inappropriately swearing, then I'm like, okay, sorry, you're not the vibe. All right. So yeah, make sure you're taking screenshots. Make sure you are taking screenshots. Because then we understand the situation. And that's always so important. It's always so important to take a screenshot, so that, because I've always said, I'm not going, if you come to me and you say, so-and-so did this. Okay. What do you want me to do about that? Like, there's really nothing I can do if you just come and tell me that so-and-so did something. If it's really bad, I can probably figure it out. But I need screenshots. I need to be able to see that they did that. I need the proof before I can do anything. Oh, if it's the host, well, then I can rewatch it. And I do rewatch sales. I do. I rewatch a lot of sales. If I know that something happened, I will rewatch the sale before I do anything. And then I will send a message and I'll be like, hey, I was rewatching your sale and I saw XYZ. Just want to let you know this is against the guidelines. In fact, I know several people who can probably attest to receiving a message from me, but it's okay because we're still friends. So rule of thumb is before you say anything in the chat, just think to yourself, is this going to benefit the sale or is it going to compromise the sale? There you go. And if it's not going to help the sale, don't say it. Okay, now let's talk about events. I have to get things out of the elbow range there. Okay. We have an event coming up next month. Well, we have decades this month. We have decades at the end of this month. Is decades filled up, actually? Did we fill that one up? Sheets. Oh, looks like we have 2 spots open on decades. So we have 2 spots open on decades. Is that correct, Christina? It's looking like 4:30 on Sunday, 4:30 Eastern, and 9:30 Eastern. Let me see. Maybe that's in the notes. Maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself. Yeah, yep, you have it in there. All right, I'll get to that. We'll get to that part. Anyway, okay, so our next event is happening next month, April, right? April, okay. April is going to be the 26th and the 27th because it's Ashton's birthday. It's the 26th. It is halfway to Halloween. Yay! Where's all the yay? Yes. Yes, it is halfway to Halloween. It is April 26th and 27th. So that is going to be so much fun. I'm kind of excited for it. I feel like you guys should be too. That's right. March, April. I don't have my calendar. Okay. Yes, first week of April is Glass Gallery, I think. Yep, Glass Gallery is 5th and 6th. And then the end of April is Halloween. I mean, it's not really. It's like halfway to Halloween. All right, so let me get through. I'm going to get to that part. So we're encouraging sellers to we want hard goods sellers and we want handmade sellers to also participate. So it's going to be both. We want a mix. We want everybody to enjoy this event. So we want to mix. We want to mix both. So, I mean, that's especially good for our sellers who do handmade and hard goods because you can do both. You can show off your handmade while also selling your hard goods. So you can have like a few things and you can be like, oh, and here's an item I made, and then you can get people excited for stuff that you made. You know what I mean? Halloween themed jewelry, all sorts of things. Yes, absolutely. And so that will also encourage our buy it now sellers to get some items listed for that event. So I will probably be featuring Halloween on the homepage. So what that means is, get your Halloween items listed for that. And one thing I would suggest is when I am tagging items for Halloween or for, when I put stuff up on the homepage, a lot of the times I'm tagging items that have been recently listed. So you can also resurrect your listings by duplicating and then just like deleting the original listing. And then that brings them back to the beginning. It's like it's a new listing, but it also just boosts them to the top. So if you have older listings and you want to like boost them to the top while I'm tagging stuff, that's a secret. Okay. Shh, don't tell anyone I told you. Okay. Kudos to all of our incredible handmade sellers who showed up for the Meet Your Maker Handmade Market. We appreciate you guys. Only 305, only those who showed up for coffee chat. So that's it. Handmade Market was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I was able to pop in and out a few times. But it's always a great event. I love being able to feature our handmade artists. It brings me a lot of joy. So every 4th Friday of the month, we do a handmade market here on Niknax. And yeah, so make sure if you love handmade, you come over to Niknax. It's important to us. And none of that other stuff that they allow on other handmade sites. Reminder that Daylight. Oh, you got some great art shows planned this month. Oh, fantastic! Drop them in the chat for us, Amanda. We have we have daylight savings, March 12th. So just a reminder for everybody, March 12th is going to be daylight savings. We have our first Niknax cooking show on March 12th. Speaking of Amanda, she's going to be doing the cooking show with Christina of Moon Sky Vintage. I have no dogs here. It's just me and Shelby. Oh, she was moving the stool. That might have been what that was. Just Shelby moving the stool. Yeah, they're doing a cooking show. It's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. So March 12th, cooking show. I don't know. Is it going to be a demo or just a cook along? Like, what are you guys doing? It's a surprise. Oh, you're just going to have to find out. That's going to be fun. Yeah, I think it was napkin rings. I think they dominoed. I think they like fell over. I think it was dominoes. I think that's what it was. I think. Not positive though. It could have been the ghost. All right. So coming up, we have March 22nd to the 23rd. March 22nd through the 23rd is our Niknax sponsored event through the decades. Through the decades. We only have one slot left, and it is the 9:30 Eastern slot. So there's only one slot left. Looks like somebody's got their cursor over it though. Anonymous Liger, which is a cross between a tiger and a lion. They've got their cursor right over it. So they're about ready to put their name in there, I feel like, whoever that is. I don't know if you've ever been on Google Sheets, but it like gives you an anonymous animal. Have you guys ever seen that before? And Anonymous Liger is hovering over that spot. I know, isn't that funny? Of all the animals, it's like walrus. Who all do we have in here? Walrus, liger, and then a nyan cat. What is a nyan cat? Has anyone ever heard of that one before? You saw a shrew? That's so funny. Now the nyan cat is over it. Somebody's going to get it, I'm sure. Anyway, April 5th and 6th. They're so funny. The names are so funny. I'm just Jocelyn. I don't get a crazy animal. April 5th and 6th is the Glass Gallery, which is going to be so exciting. I love the Glass Gallery sales. Glass Gallery was originally the Glass Locomotive, started by Jenny Kay, which was a once a month train. And now we've kind of we've moved that into a quarterly sale. So we're doing that now quarterly. It won't let you edit. Oh, hang on. Are you going to do decades? Macy, are you the nyan cat? Hang on. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to format. I'm going to unlock both of these cells. I don't know why they're locked. More actions. Oh, does Christina have it locked? I should be able to edit it. Hang on. You know what? Maybe I locked it. Did I lock it? Set permissions. You I should be able to do it. Okay. All right. The spreadsheet's not working. Let's see. I don't know why it's unlocked. There, is it unlocked now? This is what I'm gonna do. Nope. Okay. All right. I don't know why it's doing that. All right. I don't know why. Change permissions. Custom. Cancel. That's so strange. Well, it's locked. Here, you know what? Let's do this. All right, can anyone edit those slots that I put right there? There you go. Why don't you put your names down there, and then I'll just copy and paste them above. So I added 4 new slots. So if anyone wants to jump into those slots, I'll just copy and paste those up if you see it. You got the 10? Okay. All right, so if anyone wants to be in decades, so the way the decades is, and in case you haven't seen it, now you don't even see the spreadsheet. Oh man. You'd like the 9:30. Okay, Macy, are you okay with 10? I'll put Niknax Jannywhack in 9:30. Okay, let me do this. All right, let's do this. I don't know why that's... Okay. Okay, so then there's a 10:30. I added 10:30 and 11. So if anyone else wants to be on there, we'll be in 11 because I know there was an issue there. So you guys can sign up for the 10:30 and 11. I'm cool with that. I'll take it. What was I doing wrong? It's not working. It's like the voice of the moon god. What are you talking? Yeah, one slot. Yeah. And I was like, whoa. I know this was weird. I mean, I could have just co-hosted you, but you wanted to be all fancy and like come in like that. Um, we'll see. I'll see how it is. I see how it is. Change. Anonymous Dingo. Oh my gosh, is that Peter? I remember Peter was Anonymous Dingo. Yeah, just because I made it bigger. That's because those cells weren't locked because I made it bigger. I added more, just so you know. I felt bad because everybody was jumping in to try to add themselves, like as I was struggling. I'm really excited. This one took a while to fill, so it's kind of cool that everybody was like all about it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Bye. And there she goes. All right. So that should be good. If anyone wants to add themselves, I added a few more slots to Saturday as well. So you should be able to add your names in now. The whole point of the decades train is if you're supposed to have fun with it. I don't want anyone to be stressed about it. Don't be stressed about it. It's supposed to be fun. It's 30-minute slots, and you're supposed to just like pick a decade. So you've got Art Deco from the 20s. You have mid-century modern from like the 50s. Just pick like a style from a from a decade and go with it. You can dress up, to represent that decade. Like just have fun. Please nobody stress about it. Even if it's not necessarily something from that decade, you can, if it's like contemporary, but it has that like look or feel from a certain decade, you can also incorporate those items. Yes, if it resembles that time period, stuff like that. So that's kind of like where we were going with all of this. So just keep that in the back of your head as you're sourcing for this stuff. Um, I love that Macy signed up. Macy does a lot with jewelry, so I think she's gonna like bring a lot of jewelry, and I love that. That'll be lots of fun. But just think of things like this, okay? Um, Let me see. There was a question. Oh, and Amanda says they have 2 spots left for the theme park art train on March 30th. On March 30th. So let Amanda know if you want to be involved in that theme park art train. All right. And one slot open for the newbie train on Saturday, March 8th, says Elsie. So the newbie train, I've talked about this before, is the train that we host here on Niknax, which is for our sellers who are maybe just getting started with going live, who are maybe comfortable going live and just trying to give it their first try. And it's a very supportive train. It's trying to like just show you guys the ropes, help you guys know what buttons to press, that sort of thing. So that's the newbie train. And Elsie is the thrifting teacher. You can see her in the chat here on Niknax if you're over here. That is March 8th. So you can let her know, the thrifting teacher. You can send her a message. Um, um, train, the train for driving you save me up. I don't know. I don't know. Not sure what you're trying to say, Marie. You're on the newbie train and you're so excited. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, if you are, even if you're like, you're not technically a newbie seller and you just want to like, you're still not completely comfortable and you want to like, you want a safe space to like, to just kind of like test it and like, practice. There you go. All right, so let's get back to our notes. So halfway to Halloween, and then May is our paperweight extravaganza. We're doing paperweights again in May. All right. We're doing paperweights again in May. That's tentative because I know that one of our biggest paperweight fans here on Niknax might be on vacation in May. And I feel like we would be doing her a disservice if we I don't know. Just saying. I may have to think about it now because when I heard she's going to be on vacation, I was like, "Oh man, I would feel kind of bad." I mean, I feel like we just kind of need to like, instead of calling it the paperweight extravaganza, we should just call it um, Bandits Paperweight Sale. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Um, we'll have to talk to her because I kind of feel a little bit bad. It's Bandit, right? Are you going to be away in May? Is that what you're saying? Because I do kind of feel a little bit bad about that. Like, let's do it in May, and then you're like, I vote like the 1 month you're going to be away. I feel like is May. Yeah, well, I'll just go on vacation with you. We'll bring all our paperweights. It'll be fine. Well, so anyway, the last thing I have in my notes is just to practice kindness as always. You don't want to, oh, I see. All right. Well, then we'll keep it in May. We're going to keep it in May. We're going to keep it in May. Bring the paperweights to Bandit. Oh, man. All right. I'm just kidding. We're not actually having a paperweight sale. There's no paperweight sale happening in May. Not happening. Okay. Just kidding, everyone. It's actually in December. Okay. So see you all in December. Now I have 5 minutes for questions. Christina says JK. She's like, half the people don't know when Jocelyn's joking, so I feel like I have to say the JK. Don't make me come in again. Don't make me come in again just to say just kidding. I mean, she's not wrong. Half the time in my videos, I'm joking, and then people get really offended in the comments because I don't say just kidding. So there's that. Who files a claim if something is delivered damaged? Okay, so that's a good question. So if something arrives damaged, you will need to reach out to support@district.net. And they will be able to guide you through that process and let you know who needs to do what. I have not had that issue yet, and I know with different platforms there are different like protocols for how they want it handled. So I would say reach out to support. Where are the glass gallery signups? I don't think we've had them posted yet. We haven't posted them yet. Oh, okay. Are you talking about the message that you received? I wasn't sure that you needed a response on that, but I can. Oh, I thought I responded back on the other one, but I will double check because I did get your message and I thought I responded, but maybe it didn't go through. I'll respond if I didn't, or I'll check what happened when I thought I responded. Maybe it went to draft. Let's see. I would love to have little badges for everybody, and that's something I've actually asked for. I've asked for that. Yeah, I think at some point we will have little badges, and I'll assign them accordingly. I think you deserve a little badge. Absolutely. A legacy badge. I like that. Yeah, for OGs. I'm here for it. Aw, Claudine. We don't got no badges. I think that would be fun to have badges, to have like special badges. I never thought you were mean. A blooper badge. Too funny. Does anyone have questions? A clumsy badge. Oh, the Airbnb. What's funny is I was talking about that table that I like partly refinished, and yesterday I was using the the sander. I was using the orbital sander, and then Dad was like, "I'm gonna bring over my other the one that goes in straight lines. I don't know what it's called." Dad's like, "That one will be faster," and I was like, "Okay." So he brought it over, and then it started overheating, and I was like, "The belt sander, that's the one, the belt sander," and it started overheating, and I'm like, "This is," and then it was sizzling, and I'm like, "This is a bad idea." So I was like, "I'm not gonna do this because I need a table, right? I need the kitchen. That's the kitchen table going in the Airbnb. It's like the last and final step." And I'm like all mad at it. And I'm like, I give up. And then last night, I'm like looking for a kitchen table on Facebook Marketplace. And lo and behold, the same exact table that I'm wasting time refinishing is $45 on Facebook Marketplace. And you know what? I'm going to pay $45 so I don't have to stand there for 3 hours with a belt sander trying to sand off the top of this table just to get out the little rings, and I'm just gonna go buy the stupid thing for $45. And then I'm gonna pretend it's the same table for everyone on YouTube. So if you're watching YouTube, I'm gonna be like, and look, it's finished. I did it. I stained the thing and I sanded it all down, and doesn't it look great? And then everybody who watched this live is gonna be like, sure you did, Jocelyn. Right? Work smarter, not harder. That's right. Spoiler alert. The actual table is still in the garage. But it's like it's a vintage table, so it's kind of wild that the exact same one is $45 on Facebook Marketplace. So I think it was just meant to be. It was just meant to be. Oh man. No, it was bad. It was the one that we had at our last place that we used to do the halls at. That's why I wanted it in the Airbnb, because it was like it's sentimental. It's like the table that we did all of our halls at, our dining room halls. So I was like, it's the table. We need the table. But I just found a different the table. So all right. It's a museum piece, absolutely. I still have it. I'm just not gonna sand it because it's a pain. It's a pain. I was like, you know what? At this point, I'll just stain it and call it a day with all the like half sanding done. It's half sanded. I'll just stain what's sanded and call it a day. Or I'll just go buy the one for $45 and pick it up. Let's get that thing auctioned off. You guys are too funny. But no, that's really it. I mean, everything else is done. I have to get a few more pieces of furniture. I need like an end table for the couch. I need like a little dresser for one of the rooms. Like just silly little stuff. But I mean, it's good. And we got coffee machines, we got dishes, we got all the utensils. Like everything I feel like is done. It's just silly little stuff. So yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited. Um, so I'm gonna there's sites where you can cross post for Verbo and Airbnb. So I'm probably gonna do something like that. It's called like Air DNA or something, I think is what it's called. My realtor told me about it. He's like, you should try Air DNA. And I'm like, oh, that sounds fancy. I was gonna use Picasa, but I had a really bad experience with them when I was in Mount Dora. And I was like, I would never use Picasa. That was a nightmare. Um Yeah, Air DNA. I think because it's a play on Airbnb. So, yeah. Anyway, I think I'm gonna hop off here. I think I'm gonna maybe go get some seltzer with lime that I left at my house before I have my next meeting. I was kind of bummed about that. I was like, oh, I forgot my water. Yes, it's in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. If you're familiar with Pennsylvania, it's like a short walk to the fairgrounds. It's like right around the corner from the fairgrounds, um, where all the car shows are. So it's kind of nice. So when that one's done, I'm gonna get another one because why not? Have another one. Um, but yeah, so close. So close. So everybody have a wonderful day. I think my next sale is going to be on Sunday. That's when I have to schedule. I have a sale scheduled for May. I told you guys. So I did tell everybody I'm gonna liquidate all of my my glass, like all of my really high end glass. I'm gonna start everything at $50. So all of my stuff that's been sitting at like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, I've started switching it over to live sale and putting it to auction. Like all of my Montjoy, my Lundberg, I mean, I even have some Dom, some Murano. I'm just gonna sell it all. So I'm having a sale in May. May 10th is when I have it scheduled for, and I'm just putting it all in that sale. So I've started. I'm gonna pull everything from eBay. I'm gonna pull it all down from Niknax to the high end stuff, and I'm just gonna have a sale, and I'm gonna sell it all. So yeah, yeah, my job. Why not? So that'll be May 10th. And I've already started doing that. So that's May 10th. That's going to be a minute away because I feel like I need to talk about it a lot. But yeah, a CLL estate sale basically. So if you've been eyeing something up that's like been a couple $100s, just know it's going to be in this sale starting at $50. So on that note, I am having a sale on Sunday. I haven't scheduled that one yet. I just scheduled the one for May because why not? But I guess what is the difference between this and district? So this is Niknax. It's powered by district. So basically they run all the infrastructure and I run the marketplace. So I own district. I mean, I own Niknax and then district like is the infrastructure that like runs all the background, all the skeletal pieces of Niknax. So, all right. So on that note, I am going to. Did you get my reply? Yes, I did. I have my meeting with district today. I want to discuss it with them a little bit more, and then I'm going to reach out to you with more answers so that I have more information on how we can make it work. So yes, I did, and I'm going to. I want to talk to you more about it, but I need more answers from them on how to make it work. So that way I can talk to you with more info. So, alrighty. So I'm going to call it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with me today. Thank you, everyone over on YouTube and Facebook. Come on over to knickknacks.net. We would love to have you. Knickknacks.net. It really is such a wonderful place. You guys are missing out if you're not over here. Family-friendly, positive place to be. We love the members of our community. Like, come over. Just check it out. You're not got nothing to lose. Come on over. And hopefully I'll see you guys later. So long. Let's see who we can raid. I think we're raiding over into Nana. Nana's doing a live shop with me. She is back at the antique mall. I was gonna raid her last week, but we went over to Mel's. So she's live at the antique mall right now. She's doing a little live shopping. And at an antique mall I do YouTube videos at. So if you guys ever wanted to shop with me live at that antique mall, you can now shop live with Nana. I think it's Crossroads, right? Antique Crossroads. So here we go. We're going to Hagerstown, Maryland. Everybody enjoy your trip. And I will see all of you guys later.